cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
All right, welcome in to the View from T-Deck, and for the first time, we're going to do a little NBA talk. And for all you Cavs fans out there, I got the LeBron Heat jersey on for you. But I'm just Matt, and this is the Haas. First time talking to NBA, and we just wanted to take a look at this post-crazy trade deadline, post-All-Star break, look at the league and see who we think is, right now, got the best chance to win it all, at least make it to the conference finals. We'll start with your Cleveland Cavaliers and the Haas. What do you think the Cavs can do? They're almost certain to be the 1 seed in the East and have a pretty good way to the Eastern Conference Finals, or most likely the Boston Celtics will wait. Do you think the Cavs can get it done this year? They kind of made some big moves there to get Hunter in to shore up the wing.
Yeah, before that trade, I'm a Cavs fan. I gave them a 5% chance of beating the Celtics and make it to the NBA Finals. After this DeAndre Hunter trade, I give them a 40% chance. If I had to put numbers on it, I'd give them a 40% chance now. It's not that Hunter is going to stop Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. It's just the fact that we had nobody on the wing. Like Dean Wade, Sam Merrill, Isaac Okoro, Niang, Levert. Like those are just guys. Like in the regular season, it's nice to have depth, but come playoffs, it's your top 5 guys that get it done. And DeAndre Hunter is now one of our top 5 guys. He is that much of a difference maker on the deep. Like he can get it done. But I would still pick the Celtics to come out of the East pretty handedly, just because I think it boils down to the guards. The offensive level, like the offensive impact that Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland have for the Cavs is huge. But the defensive impact that Drew Holiday and Derek White have for the Celtics is far greater than the impact that it's just they are all world defenders, and Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are not all world scorers. Like they're very good, they're all stars, but they are not all NBA defensive players like those guys are. And so I just think that like over a course of a 7-game series, like we saw last year, they get worn down because Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell they're the Cavs offense. They dictate it, they flow it, and they're just having to work that much harder when compared to those guys. I'm not going to be surprised if we beat them. I think there's a good shot now with Hunter, but just the Celtics are a very well put together team that is they're built for the playoffs, and they're coasting a little bit through the regular season, but when they turn it up, they turn it the F up.
Yeah, the big problem for you guys is Porzingis. You didn't even have to deal with him last year, and he's back in a big way, and they're starting to really pick it up. They've won 5 in a row, 9 out of their last 10. Just about as hot as you guys, but that's the difference, I think, is that because Drew Holiday is not the same Drew Holiday. So I don't think I think Donovan can do some things on offense, which he's done against them this year. I mean, the Cavs, they're not just the Cavs offense. Cavs have the best offense in the league, period. Like top to bottom. Mobley has been so much better this year offensively. He's expanded his game, gotten outside the arc a little bit more. But can they slow down Boston's just barrage from 3 eventually? And they're definitely not as good defensively overall. Like I just think Boston's almost a perfect team where they can go 5 out with Porzingis on the floor. Like, what do you do? Like, I guess you could hope that you can stay in front of them and just guard closely because they're not like great at getting to the rim. But Tatum can get to the foul line. Brown can get to the foul line. They can get to the rim a little bit, enough so that they can at least F up your defensive rotation, and suddenly it's a wide open 3. Like that's what they shoot. They shoot wide open 3s, 40 of them a game.
I'll bite back on the Porzingis thing. We're playing with 2 basically centers, the Mobley and Allen. New coaching staff, like they are playing completely different with their mentality. Like they just like we played the Thunder the first time we played them at home, and Hartenstein when we played the Knicks in the playoffs, like bullied us around. Like it just seems like watching them this year, they have a completely different. Like they're just tougher down low. Allen and Mobley have been playing physical. They're dunking the ball a hell of a lot more. They are just going after guys. I think they can push around Porzingis a little bit and bite back, and that Mobley has the ability to guard Porzingis out on the wing. Allen's the guy that
Mobley's got to guard Tatum.
Mobley's got to guard Tatum probably, unless if we go down to Mobley being at the 5 and kind of do more rotations with him and Allen not being on the floor at the same time. But yeah, that's the problem there. But I like our matchups down low. It's I don't think because Donovan Mitchell also and Darius Garland are not good on defense, and so you're kind of bringing the offense of Drew Holiday and Derek White into the fray and letting them kind of be more facilitators too, and letting Brown and Tatum spot up on the wing and get them going.
Yeah, I mean, I just love how Boston's top 7 with Pritchard and Horford coming off the bench.
Yes,
I mean,
they are.
But it's just so nasty. Horford's just like the old man tricks and the defense that he plays. Yeah. And Pritchard's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league this year, out of nowhere. like seriously. The rest of the East, I don't think. I mean, the Knicks have a pretty good record, but they're pretty much locked into the 2-3 with Boston, and Boston they just beat their ass again today. They have just annihilated them because they don't have quite the horses. They're playing Thibodeau ball. I have Karl Anthony Towns in fantasy. It's been great that he's played 40 minutes a night, but he's been playing 40 minutes a night, and you just can't keep it up all season and then go in there and play like a team like Boston, who's been resting starters all year, rotates guys in and out. Like, they'll be fresh, they'll be ready to go. They'll run New York off the floor. The Bucks are the interesting team to me, and that could give the Cavs problems just because of their championship pedigree. The fact that Giannis will be the best player on the floor is always tough. They got twin towers that can deal with Allen and Mobley down low with Giannis and Brook Lopez. Dame's back there, who hasn't won anything yet, desperate for a championship. He'll be bringing the A game, but the depth of the Cavs, I think, their all-around game, I think it's too much for Milwaukee. But Milwaukee, that could be a very interesting series. They're at the bottom of the East is just not that good.
Yeah, I've been watching the Knicks closely just because it's been Cleveland and New York as the two teams that can challenge Boston for the last couple of years. I thought New York had a better team last year, a better makeup and composition. I think they blew it up for all the wrong reasons. I just don't think that they have enough firepower on the guard wise. Getting rid of DiVincenzo and getting ridof Hartenstein, I thought those were huge losses on the defensive side of the ball. Mikal Bridges is a nice piece, but now you have OG Anunoby, you have Josh Hart. You just have a foray of wing guys that I just don't think that they all mesh well together. And then you throw a guy like Cat in there. I don't like their composition wise. I just don't think the Knicks can get that going in a 7-game series consistently.
I don't know. They've meshed fine. I mean, I like having I'd rather have a ton of wings than any other position, basically, because they're so malleable defensively. But the problem is Cat is not a good defender in the paint, so they really don't have a paint defender. I mean, Robinson is back next week.
Yeah.
But can you trust him to be healthy enough? Can you trust him to get back into the swing of things well enough to contribute? When you're not sitting Cat, are you going to play the Twin Towers together with them, which maybe you do, but then how bad does that screw up your offense? You're not used to it. Who's going to the bench? Josh Hart's been awesome this year. I don't think you want to move him to the bench, but I think he's the one you have to move to the bench in that scenario. It's at least they would give them some depth, but I just don't quite see it. And Tibbs in the playoffs just doesn't ever quite get it done, so I think he wears his guys out too much. Let's go over to the West, though, where Oklahoma City, the Young Guns, have been even more dominant than the Cavs. They have about the same record overall, but their point differential is even better. They just got Chet back. They look like the team to beat over there, at least they're easily the 1 seed by a mile right now, but they're not very much tested in the playoffs, and they lost early last year when they shouldn't have. And then you go through and you look at the teams down there. The Warriors just got Jimmy Butler down at the bottom. The Mavs get AD back. Maybe there's something to mess with. The Lakers are offensive juggernaut all of a sudden with Luka there, but they can't guard. Their games are going to be 140 to 130 in the playoffs.
I watched that Lakers Nuggets game last night. They took it to the Nuggets at Denver. They threw everybody at Jokic, shut him down. I think I like their defensive ability. I think Redick has the ability to kind of put some cool defensive schemes together. And they have they have a bunch of wings and a bunch of lanky bodies to be able to guard a lot of positions. I don't like the Thunder or Rockets yet. I think they're another year or two out from being true contenders in the big landscape. I just think that they are too young.
Thunder have to be. They got the MVP right now. I think
they had the MVP, but I'm telling you, I'm taking the Nuggets. That's my favorite right now to come out of the West is the Nuggets, just because of their pedigree. They've been playing very they were 13 of 14 over the last 14 games until that loss last night. I still think they have a very good mashup of starters. The Lakers are a very interesting team. Warriors are interesting. The next 3 weeks I have to watch the Lakers and Warriors to see how they kind of come together and stuff. I really like them in a playoff series if they get to that point, because like playoff Jimmy's a thing. Luka, LeBron, that's a very tough combo to guard. But I'm not going to be surprised if the Lakers or if the Thunder or Rockets make the Western Conference Finals. By all means, they have the ability to. It's just like youth and a deep roster is nice in the regular season, but come playoffs, like the old guys turn it up. Everybody, like defense turns up. Like you're playing on the road and hostile. Like the environments are turned up. You saw that with the Thunder last year. You see that with the Timberwolves sometimes. Like just these young guys kind of get a right hook to the face and then they don't know how to respond and come out of it. So I just think it takes a little bit of time. Like the Cavs, it takes a couple seasons to kind of build up your gusto and get yourself ready for these big fights.
Yeah, the Thunder thing is they're so malleable defensively. They can do anything you want to throw at them. They can handle because they got so many good guard defenders, especially with Wallace coming off the bench. Alex Caruso, I know he's been banged up this year, but it's him coming off the bench. Obviously, Shea's a good defender, and he's 6'6". Start out on the wing there. Like Lugens Dort is a good 3-and-D guy. What the hell's there? Jalen Williams he's both position pretty much besides the true center. And then they got Hartenstein and Chet. They have offensive firepower there, but it really is like, is Jalen Williams a good enough number 2 scorer? Like you have to have that number 2 scorer. They average 118 a game, so they're obviously a pretty good offense, but not quite elite. Will that be enough to get through the West? It depends. I mean, also like how are the matchups going to end up here? Does the Warriors like get out of the play-in or get it to the 7 seed, and then I think they will right now. They'll at least get the 7 seed. They could be in the 6 seed real easily.
Yeah. The Clippers are going to keep falling.
It would be tough in a playoff situation like Harden and Kawhi, and the way Zubac has played this year. Norm Powell's been off fire this year. Like they got some dudes, and they're this far. They're 31-25 basically without Kawhi for almost the whole year. Yeah. They haven't been hot since he got back, but reacclimating him into the lineup is something different. Memphis is 37-19, number 2 seed right now. We haven't even talked about them yet. They're the fastest pace in the league. They run up and down the floor. They're deep as hell. That shit doesn't usually work in the playoffs, but like they're at least an interesting team. Although if they catch a 7 seed Golden State, I don't like their odds really getting out of that. But right now, the seeding is going to be a huge part of who I would pick. But I'd probably pick the Thunder. I'd take probably the Thunder and I guess the Nuggets. But I don't know. That game scared me last night. That just what they've lost defensively with the lack of KCP and everybody. I mean, they're giving up 116 a game this year. That is just not good. And can Jokic just carry the load yet again? Now, Jamal Murray's been freaking on fire the last month or so. So maybe if he's playing like he has in the playoffs, especially during their championship run, they can have a run at anybody. But because, like I said, you just need that number 2 scorer.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were talking about it earlier. The West to me is 8 teams deep to the point that, like, if the Warriors end up with the 8 seed and they're playing the Thunder round 1, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised if the Warriors beat the Thunder. Like, I think all eight of those teams can beat each other in any given series. The Clippers, I'm not a big fan of the Clippers just because Kawhi, who the hell knows if he can hold up come playoffs, but I still think that there's 8 teams that have a legitimate threat of beating you on any given night. I'd still take the Thunder. I'll still take the Nuggets, Grizzlies, and a 14 like the Lakers maybe to make the finals, Western Conference Finals. But there's 10. The top 10 teams in the West have a positive point differential, whereas the East has 6 teams. So it's like the West is just deep, hard.
Keep going.
It's interesting.
Is that the name of your porn?
Yeah, deep and hard, and yeah.
Getting very erotic talking about all these tall men. All right. Yeah, I think it's just a bloodbath.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I would pick Oklahoma City to come out if I had to right now. They got the only problem they're going to have is also problem kind of the Rockets had back when Harden was their main guy. Is like they have all this talent and everything's built around, but it's all built around Shea's offensively, and you just don't get the calls in the playoffs that you do in the regular season. We've seen time after time guys struggle that need to get to the free throw line to get their game going, and then they start complaining, and it leads to fast breaks instead of yada yada, because they have the best defense in the league too. They're only giving 104 a game right now. if their offense stutters, which is what it did against Minnesota last year against their Twin Towers, but nobody has that. That's the thing. Nobody has that in the West. Nobody can guard the paint the way that Minnesota was able to last year. They were terrible. Like the Mavs could if they're healthy.
Dallas when they're healthy, but they're a month away from being healthy.
Say they may not make playoffs though.
Yeah,
because of the lack of health.
Yeah,
like that's tough. And plus, the culture right there has to be just abysmal at the moment with what's going on there. Real quick, what's your thought on that trade? Because we never talked about it.
So, I mean, initially, my jaw hit the floor, like to the point where I started having, like, I was having drool like come out of my mouth because I was like, my brother texted me saying, "Man, Lakers stock going up," and they had just won before he texted me without, I think they just beat the Knicks without LeBron or something. I was like, yeah, okay, it's going up. And he got the notification before I did. I was like, holy shit, he's actually plugged into this. He was watching Apex Legends tournament, and the announcers there were like, holy crap, Luka Doncic got traded. You've never seen something like, what was it? No, the all NBA guys have never been traded midseason. There's something there, and I read into it a little bit. This is the theory that's going on is the owner wanted to build a new arena with the casino and wasn't approved, and she's basically spited Dallas by sending away Luka. I can see that. I can see that being a legitimate reason why they're saying F it. Because you would have to think you're getting more for him if you ask anybody else. Like it was like 29 GMs didn't know Luka was available. Even Rob Pelinka got the phone call and didn't know he was available, and she said, "Yeah, okay, you want AD, you can have him." Like, you'd have to think that somebody would have offered him a hell of a lot more. So, very suspicious. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm a LeBron fan. This gives him a better shot of winning a title, 100%. Yeah, so I'm very plugged into the Lakers now, and yeah, suspicious nonetheless. That's going to be a trade that for 10 years from now gets looked and it gets talked about even more.
Yeah, it's you just don't trade a guy like that unless you're getting back like a Godfather offer, because he's third all time in points per game right now. Period. Third all time behind Wilt and Michael. That's it. That's the list. Average is like 8 and 8 too. Yeah, he's not a good defender, but you can hide him on defense because he's freaking 6'8", whatever. So he can be play your worst wing guy and be hold up at least. Nico Harrison's taken all the biggest disaster. I kind of can understand their reasoning that at least Nico's given. Although I do love a good conspiracy theory, Jason, I'm with you. I love NBA. I don't like conspiracy theories in general. I love NBA conspiracy theories. That envelope was frozen for Patrick Ewing. Michael Jordan got suspended for gambling. And this baby Luka got traded out of spite because of the casino deal falling through there in Dallas. But the reasoning that they put forth is not terrible to me to actually trade him.
Yes.
It's you're worried about investing $70 million a year into a guy that you don't think can stay healthy for the long term. And people that are saying, like, well, you traded for AD. I'm like, well, this is not a 1 year thing here. Like, yeah, AD's Anthony Davis. But you're not paying him that much, and you're not going to give him a max contract. So it's not that relevant, But you're set, like you said, okay, you want to do it. Go get the Godfather offer, though. Go put him on the market. They said that they were afraid that he would try to steer the trade them. I'm like, so what? You took we wanted AD. Work AD into the trade then, if you want it. You can do it.
Of all the people in the league that you could get for Luka Doncic, and you're going to tell me you wanted AD, AD's really great. I mean, the reason why they won the championship in 2020
I won't take the Anthony Davis slander. He's been like a top 5 player this season. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, they won the championship in 2020 because AD had a fully healthy season and he played like all NBA level on both sides of the ball. He is that type of caliber player. But it's like, would you trade Joel Embiid right now? Would anybody want Joel Embiid with the baggage that comes with his injuries? Like, yeah. Oh, I will say, like, Reddit's a great app. Great effing app. One of the like plugged in Mavericks guys who, like, one of the top Reddit guys for the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. He posted a post after the trade, and it was the video of after one of the playoff wins last year, Luka's in the locker room.
I saw it.
Nico comes in and takes a beer away from him because apparently he has a little bit of a drinking problem. That's the weight thing. So the guy said right then and there, you could look at my post. I said there's going to be something that happens with the trade or something blows up where Luka gets his way out of there because he saw it right then and there. So I think there is something to it. Like with you, like sometimes conspiracy theories are just that. But man, like if the league vetoes a Chris Paul trade to the Lakers and they let this kind of go through, like this is on like
That's
this
different.
isn't blowing up the league.
Running the Pelicans at the time.
Yes, I get it, but like this is a league type of they're screwed about them not getting like their way in Dallas, so they're gonna force their way of hey, put them on one of our biggest franchises in the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't. The league being involved, I don't buy. I think from what I know too, and a lot of people have said this about Nico Harrison, going back to his Nike days when he was executive at Nike, which is how he got this job, is that he, like other people we know, Jason, in life, likes to will promote and put around himself a bunch of yes men and a bunch of people that tell him what he wants to hear or wants to agree with whatever he says, and he'll do that. So eventually you insulate yourself from everybody else that you just make these kind of decisions that come back to haunt. And like, Occam's razor, usually stupidity is like the easiest route for like this stuff, like the way to explain it more than a conspiracy. And it's that they wanted to get rid of Luka. They wanted AD. They just went a really stupid way to do it. And now they're trying to and then bashing Luka though in the press is laughably dumb. Because why does any superstar want to go there now and risk that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, if Donovan Mitchell's worth 5 first-round picks, if McCall Bridges is worth 5 first-round picks, and all these other guys that get these 5 or 6 first-round draft picks.
That's all they get. They didn't get Anthony Davis in those deals too.
Yeah, but a 31-year-old Anthony Davis who, man, I mean, henceforth, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but Jesus Christ, right after that, he gets hurt for a month. So, it's perplexing. I love it. I really do love it because of the LeBron thing, but also just the chaos that ensues for small market teams that kind of get the shaft. Like you need to realize that these leagues are set up for the big markets.
I mean, Dallas is like the 4th biggest market or 5th biggest market in the country. They're not a small market team, but that's why I agree. I love your conspiracy theory. I do. That they're just being spiteful over Dallas turning down the deal. Because I've heard also like the conspiracy theory that they want to get moved to Las Vegas. I'm like, that's going to be an expansion team. Nobody's moving there. They're going to expand there. LeBron's going to own them. It's going to be
that. I mean, you can't do it now. Like you can't move Dallas to Las Vegas now, or else it is.
Why
like
would you move Dallas? I guess that's the 5th biggest market.
I understand that, but that was also the conspiracy theory that she was then threatening to move the team to Las Vegas, wanting to move the team, and she's like, "Well, you're not letting me do that. Then here's Luka." But like, if anything happens now as a result, like then it's confirmed that they were doing this because of the stadium or whatever. Like she can't move the team. She tries to now come out and build a new stadium and stuff. Like, nothing's happening now at the Mavericks. And Mark Cuban's, thankfully, he's alive to see this because he's rolling over, standing up, not in his grave.
He's still a 20% over the team.
Yeah, but he's not like controlling the like.
He can't. He's not a governor. But
because also with Nico, his GM, he made it like there's no way he went to the owner and they gave the approval. You're not trading away the biggest star without the owner saying either coming to you and telling you to do it or signing off on it. This is the owner doing it. Like there's no way.
I mean, that is like with Occam's razor too. The most likely scenario. She told him to do it, and he's taking the fall for it and being a good soldier because that's how you move up in corporate America. So that's how he got up there.
And if he keeps his job, let's say like this thing blows up and goes 2 sheets to the wind, and the Lakers win a title, and Dallas sucks, and he's still the GM in like 5 years. God forbid that she told him to do it. She said, "You'll keep your job for 5 or 10 years, but just do this for me."
Yeah. Oh, that'd be tough to do though, because you get that you're going down in the history books as a shit GM if this does not work out at all, which is not looking good so far. All right, but that'll do it for this episode. Maybe we'll talk some more NBA in the future. We'll see how this podcast does out there. Don't want to talk about Buckeye basketball. That's for damn sure. After they choke on it in their last 2 games and pretty much blow any chance of making the tournament. But for the Haas, I'm just Matt. And go LeBron in the playoffs. Go LeBron and Luka. That'll be fun to see, but we'll see what happens. Cavs can do good too. I don't mind it. But we'll talk to you guys next time.
Hey guys! Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.